Welcome to my channel to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again, great to have you here. Bitcoin is currently trading at $116,866. In this video we are going to talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP and Solana, and where I think those coins are going to top out, because I already left my long positions because it is far too choppy for me in my opinion, and I want to watch the market a bit longer. So it's going to be very interesting, so let's just start with Bitcoin. So what did we say about Bitcoin? We have said Bitcoin looks like it's going to be in a falling wedge. We had our white trend line on the chart, this one right here. We got the breakout, but Bitcoin was not tradable. And while Jerome Powell spoke, I have also watched it a bit, like the news aren't that good. He just said that the labor market is stable and it's good, but the inflation rate might increase because of the tariffs, and he's going to think about, and here's the thing, he's going to think about changes in the monetary system, and the people think it's going to be rate cuts. It's not decided yet. So the Fetch Watch tool, if you don't know what it is, we can just Google it. We go here and we type in CME watch tool, like this, Fed Watch. The website is going to load a bit. So we have in 25 days and 21 hours, we have the interest data coming. So will we get rate cuts or not? And the market now thinks with an 83% possibility, we are going to see a rate cut of 0.25%, and 17% says no rate cuts. And this number, okay, I can't go down a bit more. The numbers changed. Like the possibility of rate cuts are far higher right now. And when I watched a few hours back, it was even at 90% chance. So what happens is we still have to wait for the rate cuts. And if the rates are not getting cut by the Fed in 25 days it was, then the market is going to get its liquidity down below here. Like if we don't sell off now to get this, if we still continuing getting up over the next 2-3 weeks, and the market is going to and the Fed is going to decide we are not going to cut rates, this might happen afterwards. So why am I so careful right now? We are at huge resistance, 117,000 approximately. Also keep in mind this green trend line, this is on the weekly chart. So we can go into the weekly chart. So 1 week, and we just connected all the all-time highs with each other. And what I want to see there is getting at least a daily close over 117,000 US dollar. And we can go into the daily time frame, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Then the candle is going to close. If it's going to close over 117,000, and I want to see not, I want to see like getting $1,000 over. So I want to actually to see the candle close at round about 118,000 US dollar in that area, to make sure that this is a real breakout on the daily time frame, and it's going to be positive. And then I think we are going to get into the 120k, and afterwards new all-time high. If we decide to get rejected and we are not pushing to the upside, then I think this might happen afterwards. The only issue now is we have such a huge fair value gap between 115,750 to 112,650. I will give you here the price marks. this one. The next issue is that we got so many long positions in. If the price is going to turn, those high leveraged long positions are going to get liquidated or stopped out, and that would push the price even more to the downside. What I would look for is if we actually get rejected and sell off, the 114,830 US dollars is going to get very interesting, because we have here in the past support, resistance. That's the only trend line, that's the only support trend line which I can find within the fair value gap. What can happen is, similar to the past, that we still have fair value gaps ongoing. And that happens because if the price is going to turn and get a bounce here, then this fair value gap up here is gone, it got filled, but this down here is still ongoing. And we are just going to take that in the next bear market or in the next bigger correction. So we don't have anything which can lead us into a nice price area. We have here our falling wedge. We can put it like this. Put it here to the breakout point. And it's going to tell me 118,330 US dollar is going to be the target. If we get there and we close our one daily candle there as well, then I think this is going to happen. We could have predicted this price movement far earlier. Just look into the RSI. And this is why I think, now we have to go back to Jerome Powell, he didn't even say, in my opinion, anything positive. He says it's unclear, the market situation is like with all those tariffs, we don't know what the real inflation rate is going to be in the next month. Like it already goes up, but the question is it going up far more, because it's going to it's going to have a compounding effect. So it might be possible that the inflation rate is going to skyrocket soon, and maybe the Fed says we can't lower rates. We never know. But in the end of the day, here was a bullish divergence. It already started right here. We always got lower prices, but our RSI did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 higher lows in the RSI, 6 lower lows in the chart. This was a huge bullish divergence, and we can see it based on this price movement. So I would be a bit careful right now. I haven't traded Bitcoin at all. We tried to get into a long position a bit earlier within this rectangle, and you already know it if you are long on my channel, rectangles are unique. We didn't see any kind of nice breakout with the retest. We haven't seen it, but what we saw was rectangles also tend to break into both directions, like first to the upside or to the downside and then into the other target. If we put it here to the other target, then here we went into that target of that rectangle, so I can take this one out. This chart pattern didn't work for our long positions, but in the end of the day, we had here our long entries set for Bitcoin. I personally, my focus is always on the altcoins right now. Here was a breakout, here was a retest possible trade. Issue was we retested it a second time right here. And you will see it on Solana because I went there into 3 different trades. I would just talk about Solana right now. So if we now look over Solana, and we have seen the RSI, it went crazy. So basically in all coins we had huge bullish divergences. But we had our long trades already planned and set. Here was our falling wedge. I have also communicated on YouTube that I didn't actually want to use that falling wedge as entry, because I want to wait for the 186 US dollar breaking to the upside, because this resistance is far more important to break and to retest for a long position. But we had here an inverted head and shoulders formatation, which broke to the upside, and we couldn't get an entry down below here at the breakout point. That's why I used the retest of the falling wedge to get him into a position, because now we have two bullish chart patterns. Afterwards, we broke the $186 to the upside. Here I went into another long position. We broke it also to the downside. We retested it, and in my opinion was, I'm going to take some Fibonacci retracements. And the retracement which I was looking for was the 0.618 retracement to 0.786 retracement, which is also going to be the second retest of our falling wedge. And yes, we also sold off afterwards one last time before we got this push. So basically Solana was very profitable for me, even though I took the trade up here, and afterwards down here. So my average price was somewhere here. We got this push. Target, we have to adjust it. Before we have set here at the breakout point, like this falling wedge. Okay, I changed here something else. Before we had a far less bullish target, because we didn't knew if we are so bullish. Now I have extended the target to the maximum size. We don't put it to the breakout point anymore, we put it to the lowest point without getting invalidating that pattern. And you can already see $201.25 is going to be the target of Solana. And I took profits here. So, far earlier, why did I do it? This fair value gap, too dangerous, we can always sell off, we never know. Like when Jerome spoke, who knew that this is going to happen before Jerome spoke? Nobody. Nobody can tell you that. Here, in this market situation, nobody can tell you if the market goes up more or down. For sure, there are it's a 50-50 chance. So if I on YouTube say the market goes up more and the other dude is saying, oh, the market's going down, then for sure one of us is going to be right. But this is not what how we are going to do it. Our target was anyway the $198 to $201.68, because we had here a fair value gap. And we already touched the $198. So basically, it looks like that we are going to see a pullback. Yeah, this price movement here is not sustainable in my opinion. It's going to get sold off. There will be a long squeeze, and that's what I think and what I actually predict. Am I going to short? No, because we never know if we are just going to get a small pullback, getting into some kind of fair value gap, and then from here shoot up, or if we are really going to close like 80-90% of that fair value gap and then push more to the upside. That's why I'm more careful right now, and I'm going to watch what the price is going to do. So I can take this one out of the chart, this one out of the chart, this one too, this one too, this one too. Yeah, I also want to clean up my charts, but I'm always going to do it with you together, because if I do it by myself, then I don't want you to think that I manipulate my charts to say, hey, I'm always right. So my mistakes and my calls are always on my chart, and I'm going to delay it with you together. So in my opinion, this falling wedge in bright blue worked in its maximum extension even, and that's why I will also delete it from the chart. We had also here our bearish chart patterns. They were still ongoing, but we have also said that the bullish reversal is possible once we break here our bullish chart pattern to the upside, and especially it was the 186 US dollar. Yeah, we sold off a bit more, but I actually doubted that we get down below here, so I can delete everything with you. So from this side here as well, this is gone, this here, and those patterns right here. So let's see what Solana is going to do. I want to get surprised there. What me surprised the most is Ethereum. So for Ethereum, I have communicated with you per community post that we have many chart patterns, like for example, this, not this one, but maybe you can see it here, like an head and shoulders formatation. I can just draw it a bit differently, so we can say this was here the left shoulder, or this here is the left shoulder, who cares, doesn't matter, but left shoulder, head, and a long right shoulder. We have also said, here's our green trend line. If we break it to the upside, which we did right here, with the retest, it's long. But always keep in mind, there can be a second retest. And I have looked for Fibonacci levels, which are touching my green trend line. So basically I went into 2 Ethereum long positions. One here, and the other one right here, just to get a lower entry price. And if we're retesting a trend line 2 times, then most likely market is going to turn. So basically my Fibonacci got hit, in this case, support. Long position also went good. And I can delete this one from the chart with you. Afterwards we have set 4,372 US dollar. If they break to the upside and we get a retest, long. It was not tradable. We wanted to see a push into $4,455, then a rejection, and then pushing it up again. And then my overall target for Ethereum was 4,600 US dollar. With the inverted head and shoulders formatation, I could take the maximum length for Ethereum, put it here to the breakout point, it would still give me 4,685 US dollar. So it really surprised me that Ethereum pumped up that much. But for sure we have seen like this kind of price reaction in the RSI already, that it's going to play out like this. Okay, this also was very unexpected, but I expected higher price, at least 4,600 US dollar. And I got actually not surprised at this market stage here, because I took profits right here. Why did I do it? Because my targets were in this area. And I expected a pullback, but Ethereum said, no, I'm going to get a new all-time high. What am I looking right now? If we go into the 8-hour chart, then you will see something dangerous. So what I want to show you is that, no, 4-hour chart. Yes, if we look into Ethereum and look into the RSI, yeah, we have always talked about bullish divergences, but what about the bearish divergences? So let's zoom out a bit. We have built up a bearish divergence since here. We have a high in the RSI, and we have here lower highs, but higher highs in the chart. Price goes up, RSI goes down. Now look at the, I would just make it, let's say orange. We can also invalidate and break bearish divergences, or also bullish divergences, but this bearish divergence got invalidated by breaking it to the upside. And you can see what kind of price movement happened afterwards. So here was the breakout of the RSI, and we had to form another bearish divergence, which is this white trend line. So we have still a bearish divergence ongoing. Since right here we have always higher highs in the chart, lower highs in the RSI. Dangerous. But we have also seen, I want to show you with that orange trend line, that yes, we have with the white trend line our bearish divergence, for sure, and it's ongoing. But the orange trend line is saying we have had a bearish divergence, but we broke it to the upside and the price just moved, in this case from the breakout point to the top, 24%. So we can still have more upside potential, but we have to break the bearish divergence to the upside. Also, we have formed bigger bearish chart patterns. This right here can be a double top pattern. For that, we have to sell off right now and break the $4,090 to the downside. Unrealistic at the moment. The second one is in orange, and this is this rising wedge. And this rising wedge can still be adjusted. Means if we get another push, like for example this one, then we can just take it like this and we still have a rising wedge. So don't think that just because we are going to get higher prices that we are actually going to invalidate that that rising wedge. No, it's not going to invalidate it. It's just going to change the target. So the current target would be, if we take the maximum extension here and put it here to the breakout point, then yes, you can see it. It goes down to $2,900. I will just put you here the price mark so you can actually see something, what I want to show you. So if we get another top and we're going to change this rising wedge, for example, like this. So this is still, let's make it a bit more sharp. So this is still a rising wedge. We're just going to take a new target. You can see it. It's going to change. And then to the breakout point, there we took this one right here. And then you can see the target is going to change. And over the time, we are getting more up. So basically, don't think that I'm saying we are going to sell off into 2,900 US dollar. We still have to wait until we break any kind of chart pattern to the downside. So anyway, Ethereum looks good. I can still imagine that if we are going to sell off, then into the area 4,455 US dollar, if we get down in a corrective way, like for example a bull flag or a falling wedge, which we then break to the upside, then I can get into a long position earlier. Or if we build up some kind of bullish chart pattern, like for example, yes, we can also develop an inverted head and shoulders formatation. And if I see something like this, then I can think about getting other entries, maybe in this area. But for that, I have to see that we can develop that chart pattern. So it's very tricky right now to trade. That's why I closed everything which I have, and yeah, relaxing a bit, enjoying the profits for sure. Here's another support. Right here. Also going to get very interesting if we get there. But just because we are going to drop on support, it doesn't mean that we are going to get into a long position, in my opinion. Not from my side. That's why I will take those green trend lines out of the chart, because I want to look more and look for other chart patterns. So what about XRP? So the movement of XRP is not that good, like Ethereum, for example, or Solana. So I still think that XRP has more upside potential. That can also mean that the altcoin season might have started already. What is an altcoin season? So in the altcoin season, the money goes from Bitcoin into the altcoins. And the first altcoin is most likely Ethereum. It was always Ethereum. And afterwards it goes into the other large caps like XRP, like Solana. And Ethereum is already in its all-time high. And yes, Bitcoin went to its all-time high. And Bitcoin is close to its all-time high, but Ethereum just made one. XRP is not even close to it. Far away, as you can see. If we now think about this, if Ethereum is going to sell off, XRP is also going to sell off. And if the people from who made profits from Ethereum is going to swap their money into XRP, then XRP is going to outperform every single other coin. Like for example, Ethereum. Ethereum broke everything to the upside, outperformed every single coin, in my opinion. The next coin should be XRP and Solana. Does it mean that I'm going all in XRP and Solana? No, I want to see still the breakouts. I want to see still some chart patterns that I get the verification. Like I'm not just going to get into trades just because I speculate that XRP is going to be the next coin which is going to pump up. But yeah, if we now look into our green trend line, we broke it to the upside, not tradable. It was far too fast. So I can take this green trend line out of the chart now. We also take out the price marks. We have also said, okay, XRP should be long once we get over $2.94, but once we break the $2.91 to the downside, then I want to be out of the trade. So this long position didn't work. I can take this one out of the chart, this one too. The bear flag also worked in some kind. We should have seen a newer low, but I've also told you that bullish reversal might be incoming far faster than selling off into our targets, our maximum targets for the bear flags and the bearish chart patterns. So the only thing which I can imagine is that we get our pullback, hopefully, into the fair value gap. If we get into a corrective way to the downside, then I can look for a falling wedge, for example, which we then break to the upside, so I can be earlier into a long trade. Otherwise, I have to wait for the $3.08 breaking to the upside, getting its retest. If this is going to happen, then we have a target on the chart, and that's the area between $3.32 to $3.27. Why that? Fair value gap. So I can just put this one here. On the other side, we also have here like a falling wedge. So basically target here is as well within that fair value gap. So I can imagine that if we break the $3.08 to the upside, then it can be long for me. If this is not going to happen, like if it's not going to be tradable, like we don't see any kind of retest, for me, I'm not going to jump in most cases. Not if we are going to just get a candle close over the $3.08, for example. This is not enough for me. I want to see a breakout with the retest, and then I'm going to jump into the retest. I've also told many times why, because the risk to reward ratio is the best one there. If we then get a follow through and also another breakout over the $3.13.8, or let's make it to $3.14, then actually it looks pretty good to me, and I can double up my position size over $3.40. There I wouldn't even like jumping into the trade. Yeah, let's talk about this topic. If I don't have a trade, then I'm waiting for the breakout, which is at least, that's the minimum, one candle close over the green trend line. If it's going to be a very bullish one, like for example this one right here, and we sell off, then one green candle is enough. Otherwise I want to see several candles over the green trend line. If we then go into the retest, then I'm going to jump into my first trade. And here's the thing, it is my first trade. Then I want to jump into the retest. If I then see a breakout over $3.40, then I don't have to wait for the retest. Then I can just jump into the trade once I see a candle close over $3.14, for example. Why? Because I am already in profits with my trade. I can double up my position size, so my stop loss, my break-even point is going to be maybe here, and then I can set my stop loss to break even. So I'm doubling my position size. On the other hand, it might be possible that I go out of the trade plus minus 0, or we can go up, and I just made almost double of the money which I would have got if I just kept this trade. And this is my trading setup. Unless like it can still switch, we have to look into the market for sure. If we get, for example, something like this, and I get into the trade, and I see a corrective movement to the downside in form of a bull flag, and we are going to get a bit lower, then I'm also going to take out the stop loss and going to take new trades and doubling up. That's what I have done for HBAR, that's what I have done for Solana. And yeah, this is how I trade. This is how I think it is the, like, for my opinion and for my trading setup, it should be one of the most, like, of the best risk to reward ratios which I have. It is profitable for me. I hope that I gave you here a good second opinion. And yeah, hopefully I also got you some gains. So we see each other in the Sui, Avalanche, HBAR, and Dogecoin update, and I promise you this update is not going to be that long like the Bitcoin update.